Hi, I'm Rob J., sports director at WLBT. I also have an afternoon radio show on WKXI radio. I do radio on the internet, Southern Soul Radio. I'm Jackson State's play-by-play man in basketball and football, and I want to know, can I kick it?
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Kick it.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Growing up in Georgetown and Jackson, we didn't have much, of course. I mean, I'm one of 7 children, and my father died when I was 11. And it was rough on my mother, but the thing about it, she never let us know that, you know. I remember this. This is what I always remember about my childhood. We had a freezer, and I loved that freezer because I'd always put like Kool-Aid in it to make little freeze pops. So I would come home from school. One day I got there, it was gone. And I said, oh, what happened to the freezer? And she told me that it was broken and they had to go get it fixed. But she never told me that it got repossessed. So all that time, all those years, I was waiting for that freezer to come back. It never did. That kind of broke my heart. So, and I commend my mother for not telling me what really happened. And that really led me to know that I would never want to disappoint her. That's why I never tried to get in trouble, you know, running with the wrong crowd. I knew I was never one to fall under peer pressure because I just didn't want to put any hardships on my mother and my family because I knew we just didn't have the money to get me out of trouble if I did get into trouble. We had a party in the backyard one night, and there was this guy. He was an ex-con, and he was the DJ, and it was like a little family reunion. He had just got out of Parchment, but he was the DJ, and I was like, man, I want to do what he's doing. And my mother said, no, you don't want to be what he's doing. So, but that's deep down inside, that's what I wanted to do. When I saw that guy doing that, I said, I want to be a DJ. Never thought I would be on radio or television. I was just, I guess, just fooling around with television and radio. At Jackson State, they had a radio station on campus, and I did the news on the campus radio station. I did news, sports, and weather. And from that, I had a couple of shows. One show was called Inside the SWAC, where I did it was a 60-minute, actually a 30-minute show on schools in the SWAC, teams in the SWAC, sports in the SWAC. And I did a show called Champ Time. It was a 1-minute show where I just highlighted an athlete, and we called it Champ Time, a takeoff, a spin-off of the word champion. So the reason that the way I got into television was I was messing around in the hall. I was just goofing around in the hall at Jackson State, and this instructor, never forget his name, Howard Lett, he called me in his office. I was like, oh man, what did I do now? So he told me to read some copy, pull some copy off this computer. He told me to read this copy, and I read it, and he held it up to me. He told me to read it again. So I read it, and he sent me over to Channel 16, and he said, I want you to apply for this sports job. I was like, what? What? Apply for a sports job? I didn't even know they had TV stations in Jackson. I never watched the news, anything like that. So he sent me to Channel 16 to audition for this weekend sports job. Got there, I was nervous as a cat, like I am now, and didn't get the job. But what I did was I looked to see who had the job. And when I saw who had the job, that set a fire in me that I wanted to do it then, because I knew I could do better than the guy that had the job. And after that, I just kept working at it, and finally got a job in television. You never know who's watching you. You never know what people see in you that you don't see in yourself. And I didn't know that this instructor saw me as being a sportscaster. But like I said, I never wanted to be a sportscaster, never wanted to be a reporter or anything like that. But when, I guess he saw the way that I was goofing around in the hall, and I guess he listened to me on the radio station at Jackson State, and he felt like I had something that he saw that he felt that I could use. But like I said, I never saw it. But when I went over there, didn't get the job, and I knew then that that's what I wanted to do. I was tired of going to school. You know, you get tired of getting up, man. You don't seem like nothing's gonna come of it. You know, just going to school, taking tests, and you're taking these classes that you're like, why am I taking this class? Because I was taking these classes, I was like, what am I taking this for? This won't serve me no purpose at all. But later in life, you realize that the classes that you took, you know, the vocabulary that you had to learn and stuff like this, it will come back and you will have to apply it in life. I had to apply all of that stuff being in this business. I mean, learning how to speak, learning some of the words when you interviewing people. Like I've interviewed a lot of people, and you just have to know some of the things that you learn in school. And you know, and when I was at school, some of the guys and some of the people that you knew in high school, they're not gonna follow you to college. You're not gonna have the same friends in college. So when I got to Jackson State, I was like, man, well, my buddy's not here. Guys weren't going to school. They were like, man, forget it. What you wasting your time for? Pretty days, you don't want to go to school, but it will pay off in the end, man. I mean, you know, you just have to hang in there and realize that there will be a reward to it, because there's many days that I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it, but I just stuck it out, man. And fortunately, you know, I was blessed to get what I have. You can't do what somebody else is doing. I mean, other people don't have your best interest at heart. You know, you have to know what you're doing. You have to be your own person. You have to be your own man. You have to be your own woman. You can't just fall under peer pressure. You have to look and see if this person is doing something wrong. You know, why are they doing it? How would it affect you? Just think about how it will affect you. What's the circumstances for you if you do what this person is doing, knowing that that person is doing wrong? I was just fortunate that I was kind of a strong-willed guy, that I didn't fall under peer pressure. But a lot of people are not like that, man. And you just have to, you just have to know within yourself that you can't do what everybody else is doing and just go down the wrong path, because you know when it's a wrong path. You know, you can't sit there and say, oh, I didn't know he was doing something wrong. You know when there's something wrong. Get with somebody who you know is a positive influence. Don't get with a guy or a person. I mean, you see people walking around with their pants hanging down, man. Who want to see that? Nobody wants to see that, but just get with somebody who you know is positive. It doesn't have to be somebody your own age. Maybe it's somebody on the street that you see going to work every day. Maybe it's somebody that you see playing sports or something. But just get with somebody and try to lock in with somebody that you know is a positive person, and you know, talk to them, call them on the phone. You could easily get access to somebody. You know, just call someone on the phone. When I was growing up, I didn't know that you could call a TV station. I didn't know that, but working there now, you can call a TV station. If you see somebody on the air that you respect or whatever, just call them, call somebody on the radio and ask them, can they serve as your mentor or something like that. They'll let you come to the station. They'll let you come to a job, you know, be their shadow. Just get with somebody that's positive. You hear a lot of people saying, stay in school, you got to stay in school. Some of those people that tell you that didn't stay in school themselves, but it's really important to stay in school, because you just don't know what is out there if you decide to stay in school. If you decide to drop out, you know, it's just not the way to go. I thought about dropping out, but I hung in there, I stuck it out, and it turned out good. It turned out good. It'll turn out good for you. I know right now it doesn't seem like it, but it will turn out good for you in the long run.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can.